Alright, pesa ni sabuni na imetununulia sabuni. At the same time, we're here with one Nathan, who is the one who's made this very interesting, has a nice scent. I wish you guys could smell this over the air. However, welcome back to Biashara Tuesday. Hashtag Biashara Tuesday is where I'll be interacting at when we are discussing matters of business this morning. I have a couple of products here, and you will be really, it will be in your favor if you just continue tuning in so that you know what I have here on the table. I'm sitting across from Nathan Otieno, who is a graduate of Kenyatta University from the School of, I think, NISPAS, right? It had to be SPAS, yeah. Industrial chemistry, yes, with management. That's what he did, and he's managed to, turn his industrial chemistry to business. So I'm guessing that's what industrial chemistry with management was supposed to yield in the end. You can check out his website in the meantime, gibeonsopa.com, which is where he's registered his business, branded Zeri. So I have Zeri products here with me, natural shampoo, I have here natural body soap, and also hair
conditioner.
This is a hair conditioner, right? And that other one?
This body cream. This is just a test that I brought. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have a discussion on this. I think I'm a bit too excited to have them, but yes, welcome back to the show. Interact with us. If you have any questions, make sure you're sending them through. I'll be passing them over to Nathan. Nathan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Outside of business, for a minute, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just business.
And now we are here. We have begun a new week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So maybe Zeri, which is, I think, completely different from your name, which is Nathan Otieno.
Yes.
And from where you've registered at, which is Gibeon Sopa. Very many different names. Maybe a little introduction to that. What Gibeon Sopa is, and how is that different from Zeri? And then we can kickstart to see, what we have here on the table.
Okay, Gibeon Sopa, this is a name that I got from inspiration. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm a Christian, so during that time when I was forming the business, mm-hmm, I was reading the story of King Solomon. Mm-hmm. And of course, he asked for wisdom. And the place where he was called Gibeon. So I used that name to name my business, Gibeon.
Oh, I would never have guessed that.
So Gibeon Sopa. Sopa is just someone who makes soap. Yes. Okay. So initially the company was just a soap making company.
All right.
Yes.
So it began with soap.
Yes.
Okay. How long ago did you, begin? Why didn't you go with Zeri.com maybe?
Zeri came later. Zeri is a Swahili word for balm. Mm-hmm. B-A-L-M.
Or B-A-L-M. I almost thought bum, like a bum person. B-A-L-M.
Yeah, so it's a brand for the products. Mm-hmm. Gibeon Sopa is just the business name.
Okay.
Yes.
Gibeon Sopa, the business, and then all these other products are called Zeri. So
Zeri, yes.
Is that a name you're going to maintain for all the products that you're going to come up with, or?
Yes, for now we'll maintain Zeri.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in future, if you have different lines of products, we might think of other brand names. Yeah.
Right. Let's get to it then. You began in 2018, which means you've been in operation for slightly 4 years, mm-hmm, or thereabouts, more or less. How has the journey been so far? Getting into this kind of market, offering, these products, which are from, as you say, plant ingredients and essential oils, which most of them are sourced locally. How's that journey been like for you?
Of course, the entrepreneurial journey is a challenging one. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that it's easy, but it's doable. Mm. So, in fact, I was here. I did my final year project in 2016. Mm-hmm. No, 2015. And before I started the business, of course, I was experimenting on the products. Mm-hmm. So I started experimentation in 2015.
While you're still in school?
While I was still in school.
Was your project, you said your project was still around the same thing?
Yes, my project was on production of soap from rice bran.
Okay.
Yes, so I visited a rice processing company in Thika. Mm-hmm. And I used their waste product, which is the bran, mm-hmm, extracted oil from it, and made soap. Mm-hmm. So from all those research and studies is where I I got interest in making soaps and body care products.
All right. Maybe because you had the expertise, the education, and also the knowledge through the research that you did, it will be we could say that it was something that led naturally into one thing into the next.
Yes.
However, from the business side now, when you got into making soap, because you said that's what you began with, do you see it as a market that is lucrative, that has a base that is ready to receive these products, and has that happened so far in 4 years?
Yes, of course. In fact, I started with laundry soap, which is very much flooded. And so in business, you have to think, you have to create niche markets. So I thought of skin conditions, the people with skin conditions. So I thought of coming up with a brand that deals with this kind of market. And I must say there's market. We only need to do further research in maybe doing marketing and promotions, and people are there. People need the products, though it's challenging, but we are entering the market.
Right.
Yes.
How many products are under Zeri?
Under Zeri, we have 4 products. Currently, we have soap, we have hair conditioner, we have natural shampoos, and of course we have the body cream. Yes.
All right. So now, how do you get to, as you said, skin conditions, skins are sensitive.
Yes.
And this being products that are going on the skin majorly, or on hair for the shampoos, quality control becomes a question that everyone has in mind. Will this affect me? Maybe if I have an allergy, or some various issues that come with the skin, and interaction with some of these products. How do you ensure then that this is good for maybe majority of the population?
Of course, when you talk of skin sensitivity, we are talking about skin that can tolerate a particular pH range. And of course, whatever you apply on your skin somehow gets into the bloodstream. So for natural skincare, we try to use ingredients that occur naturally in the environment. So we are trying to avoid endocrine disruptors, which disrupt the hormonal hormones and the glands and that are released in the body to control various biological processes. So for quality control, we ensure we use those natural ingredients, and we test the pH. There are some microbial tests that are run to control especially for the body cream and for hair conditioner. We check the bacteria colony that are in the products over time, and we set standards. There are East African standards that are there, and of course there are standards that have been given by KEBS. Yeah, so basically that's what we check. We check moisture content. There are just various aspects that we check in the products.
Ensure that are
that meet standards. Yeah.
Oh, okay, up to the standards, of course, required. Now, in the time that you have been offering these products, you've shifted from soap to what is the new product here you said?
The new products are the hair conditioner, body cream, and shampoo.
Is there an approach to how you're slowly easing into more products, or this stuff that just happens naturally for you?
When we got into these natural soaps, people started asking for other products, like, do you have hair conditioner, do you have a body oil, cream, or such things, shampoos. So we slowly introduced them. So like people ask for shampoo, we introduced the shampoo, natural shampoo. Of course, they are sulfate free, meaning that they don't irritate the scalp. And then people started asking for something to apply on the body. We introduced the body cream, and then the hair product, of course, hair conditioner, that is a detangler.
Right.
Yes.
I've seen here on your site it says whether your skin is oily, dry, or a combination skin, it will still give you a soothing sensation. So it is it's taking care of all skin types in that regard. All right, that is quite interesting. What kind of bottlenecks will someone get to face when they're getting into this kind of market? You being the man behind the chemistry, and also the man behind the business.
Yes.
Is it easier for you in that way, or if someone, let's say, is watching and wants to get into this type of business, do they need to make sure they have both sides of this business taken care of, in that they are well versed in matters of chemistry and also well versed in matters of business?
The chemical side of the business is important because you want to produce products that meet some standards and that are quality. You want to produce quality products. And so you have to know the product. Maybe you might not have the chemistry background. You have to work with someone who understands the processes and who can control the amount of ingredients. There are active ingredients in the products, and there are those that are solvents. So you want someone who has that knowledge.
That kind of knowledge.
Yes, and also you can work with people. You have to have people who are business oriented. Like I work with some. I have people who do my marketing. I'm not very good in that side. I'm a technical person, so I'm mostly doing production and checking the quality of the products. Yes.
So you're hands-on in that way.
Yes.
Ensuring that every product that comes out is something that you've also had a look at. How big is your team?
My team, it's a cottage industry, so we are 3. I have 2 people who are dealing with marketing and the sales. My main work is production. The other guys also do the packaging and all that.
All right.
Yes.
That sounds exciting. The pricing now. Inform us of how you've, maybe let's you just hold it up and tell us the price of each item.
Okay. We have soap. There are 5 varieties. Of course, one is out of stock. That's why I carried 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the pricing for soap is 250. They are 145 grams each. That is dictated by the cost of ingredients. Of course, which the most expensive one being essential oils, which they have a certain process of production. So that's what makes it that expensive. And these oils also have benefits to the skin. Yes, apart from just giving nice scent. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the pricing, 250.
Yes, for the soap.
Okay. I also see it comes in different. What can we call them? I won't call them flavors. What is the word for that?
We can use flavors.
Yeah, so peppermint, essential oil, lemongrass, and nettle, shea butter. We're going to get into how you source this, but let's go on with the pricing. So this is 250.
That's 250. This is shampoo. This is 600 shillings. Both of them. They have. We have neem and moringa shampoo. And then the body cream. Okay. I didn't mention the quantity. This is 250 ml.
Okay.
This is body cream. It's 250, 120 grams. And then the hair conditioner is 200 grams, and it's 450 shillings.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the hair conditioner.
Yes.
Does this also come in different flavors?
No. That one is only. It's only one.
Just castor oil and shea butter.
Yes.
All right. So you said you get most of it, most of this material you source locally. How is that process looking like? Do you have farmers in contact with, and how do you get that into your industry?
Okay. We work with farmers. Some of them from coast because we use coconut oil mostly, and since they are natural occurring ingredients. It means we are getting them from farmers, right? So we use neem oil, we use coconut oil, and palm oil as a base oil for the soaps. Some we get from people who just trade on them, not all from farmers. And then essential oils is a tricky field. You really have to know the person who has them, because in the market there are people selling diluted ones or fake ones. So you really have to be careful. When I was starting, I got a lot of challenge getting the right essential oils. So these ones, I work with a company that imports. It's only the essentials that are imported, but the rest of the oils are just gotten locally.
Have you ever thought of maybe having your own sunflower garden or maybe one of these products, something that you are also the farmer?
In future, those are in future. That's
Plans.
in future plans.
Plans into the future.
Yeah, depending on the amount of production. Yeah, because now we are still producing little amount. We are not doing full capacity. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking about the amount that you're producing, so how can people get this, and in what platforms? I've seen it on Sky Garden and
Yes,
Jumia
yes,
as well.
yes.
Are there retailers who have this on shelves?
Our most point of sale is online. Of course, from our website, someone can easily order and it's delivered at their doorstep, as long as they provide their address.
Is this countrywide? You deliver countrywide?
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Then Jumia, of course. Someone orders, you know how it works. You can either choose to pick from their hub or get it at their doorstep. And then Sky Garden. And then we have an outlet in town whereby someone just can go and just pick. This is at Star Mall, shop number C8.
At which mall is that?
Star Mall.
Star Mall. All right.
On Tomboya Street, shop number C8.
Shop number C8. That's where you get it. You can walk in and
you can
get
just walk in and pick. Yes.
any of these products.
Yes.
Nice. Here, you also said that you've received quite some positive feedback from people who are having skin conditions like acne and the such. And I think that's important, maybe to to call for someone who might want this product and they're like, this is 250, kazi ni kuoga tu na kurudi soko, haitaji sabuni expensive sana hivyo. And you said, the pricing is informed by what is in there.
Yes.
Maybe just to underline and emphasize the advantage of people using this soap that has this natural body soap or some of these natural products as compared to maybe any other generic product that they have at a cheaper price.
From experience or from research, I've seen that most commercial companies are there for business. They are not there for health, right? There are so many chemical ingredients in products, most of which are endocrine disruptors. I mentioned that as we were starting.
Yeah.
So for natural products, they don't really affect your health because coconut oil is something you can use to cook. A lot of oil brands in the market are palm oil used for cooking. So these are natural, like preservatives in the creams are, of course, we also get them from, they're coconut derived. So they're natural preservatives. We don't use parabens, which has a lot of there's a lot of debate on them being affecting the normal metabolic process in the body. Okay. So the advantage of these products, they don't cause inflammation of the skin, which is the general term. The general term is eczema for the skin.
Eczema,
yes, inflammation. Okay. And then we also have psoriasis and we have acne. So the oils, for example, for the body cream, we chose to use sunflower oil for it and shea butter. We call them non-comedogenic oils. Yes.
Comedogenic. I'm learning every day. Comedogenic.
So they are non-comedogenic, meaning they don't block your pores of the skin, leading to pimples and all that. Yes, so they are easily absorbed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That is great quality control, of course, ensuring that people know these are safe products and also have a positive healing effect.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is your favorite as we wrap up? What is your favorite product? Which soap do you use on a day to day? For example, leo umetumia sabuni gani hapa?
Leo nimetumia peppermint soap. Yes.
Do you switch it up depending on how you want to feel?
Of course, peppermint soap has a cooling effect. I like it because of that. It has a tingling effect on the skin also.
Also on the
and
nose.
Also the scent is...
it's really good, man.
Yes.
Let me just put it here so I hope you forget it. Yeah, but thank you very much for coming through and having this. I think maybe a final call out to people on where they can find this. They shop in town, just to ensure that they, if someone just caught up with us, to remember that, and also you can say your website for yourself, yeah?
Yes.
As you said, they can get there, order, and it's delivered to their doorstep worldwide. Hata kama ako North Pole ama ako Kisii, zote zinafikia. It's your chance now.
Okay, these products you can get them from our website. If you go there and add them to cart, check out, put your address. The website is www.gibeonsopa.com. You can also get them on Jumia. You can get them on Sky Garden. And then for our physical pickup point, that is Thermal on Tomboya Street, opposite Eastmart, shop number C8. You can get them there.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Nathan, for coming through. Zeri is a product that you should be testing out. Ukishaipata, take a photo or tell us what the experience was like for you. Alafu we get the feedback back to him. If you have any concern, any questions, you can pass them through us or get him over through his website and the contacts that he has provided. Right about now, I am going to go for a short break, and then I'll be back with one Mr. Silas to put a very important conversation into perspective. Kenya is spending 1,600 Kenyan shillings per voter in this year's general elections, totaling 40.9 billion Kenyan shillings. And this is among the most expensive polls that are held worldwide, considering that is done on a voter basis count at 26 million Kenyans who are participating in the elections. Compared to other countries, we're going to have a look at that. The United States spends 1.7 Kenyan shillings in trillions in the election. This translates to about 6,608 per voter, as a bit of a big margin compared to Kenya. However, if you look at another developed economy like Germany, which spends 12 billion Kenyan shillings, which is just two activities in this year's general elections. They're printing the ballot papers at 6 billion Kenyan shillings and also spending 5 billion Kenyan shillings on a manual backup. That's around the same amount of money, which is the total being used in Germany for an election. Is it necessary for us to spend all this amount of money, especially with the ballooning inflation, which is affecting all Kenyans? And we know that the incoming government has to turn around this situation using either more taxes or strategies which are there in the manifestos promised by the 4 presidential candidates. We're going to have a look at that and sampling your feedback on social media at KUTV Kenya. Tag me at Richard_Kenya. I'll be right back. Don't go too far.
Imagine living in a society that embraces social justice and equal opportunities for all. On Woman Crush Wednesday, Rise Today, we bring you experts for meaningful conversations on matters gender equality.
Mimi nasaona hakuna gender equality as we speak.
So we continuously work with the men.
I feel that they're judging the girl.
Parenthood.
Mind is very important in infertility.
Mental and physical health.
You need to be surrounded by a proper network.
After nimeanza healing process, nilikumbuka kuhusu boys na wase wenye niliacha ghetto. Like kila wakati nilikuwa najaribu kutafuta mbinu yenye naweza wafikishie ujumbe.
I feel like if you have 15 minutes, if you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever amount of time, use it, because any physical activity is beneficial. No physical activity is dangerous for you.
And we touch on current affairs.
marrying is a journey. It means you're taking a journey together.
I'm dying to be different.
Changamoto ziko, but you can't sit there saying, oh, mimi nitafanya mziki siku yenye dozi itakampa.
You look at this person and you're like, wow, they just woke up and they found themselves here.
Join us every Wednesday morning at 7 to 10 a.m. here on Rise Today Woman Crush Wednesday. I am your host, Nina Gikunda.
Karibu kwenye mitindo ya kipwani.
Nguo yangu wasenesi magire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe. Nguo yangu wasenesi magire mtuzeha.
Yani unavyoona basi niko kipwani pwani tu.
Wali unapopika inatakana uko half cooked.
Bageri. Niko katika kaunti ya Kilifi, Magavazi ya Gede.
Stream live mitindo ya kipwani on our KUTV Facebook page every Saturday 4 p.m.
So be sure to try this at home. It's a fun experience before you get to sit down and enjoy the meal.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepopa si vuguvugu. Pepopa ni idea.
Zeri ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Hello graduates, I'm Ngongo Stephen Omondi and I'm going to demonstrate to you how to put on your academic attire. We have the gown, secondly, we have the hood. Make sure the hood has the appropriate color for your discipline. Make sure the hood forms a V on the chest and a pocket at the back. Button it up to secure it into position. Last, we have the cap. When going to the graduation ceremony, make sure your tassel is on the left. Then, after being conferred by the Chancellor, turn your tassel to the right.
Right. There's something called budgeted corruption. Did you know about that? That there's there's corruption that is in the budget. In the budget, there's a space for corruption. So here is an explanation from one Tony Kitonga on Twitter. Anasema Kenya's budgeted expenditure is inflated to account for official corruption. Yani, mkiambiwa ni 3.3 trillion, there's 0.3 trillion amesema alafu sasa wakiiba hiyo ingine, right? So if a pen costs 50 bob, it's allocated 300 bob, which means they've already estimated that there's someone who is going to use 250 for abnormal kickbacks and rents. So if there is a budget that is being put out by the government, the taxpayer isn't given the correct expenditure amount. Do you think that's a good situation to be in? Especially now, we are going to have a look at this and much more on what is happening with the government at this time where we are facing, we are in a new financial year, so 3.3 trillion for the next government in the financial year that we are in to take care of a budget deficit that is way above our reach, and we don't know how to patch that up. The African Development Bank just offered us a little relief, and this is to be used towards to farmers to cushion them, of course, from that increase in prices of some of those products that they're using in the farms. The government is using subsidies to cushion us as well from products of things like maize now, which is at 100, maize flour, which is at 100 bob, oil products, petroleum at a litre is at 150 Kenyan shillings because of the subsidy. However, if the subsidy is scrapped, we are going to look at 200 bob for that, 250 bob for a 2 kg packet of maize flour, and more of those issues of rising the cost of living. But in that, we are in a very heated time of the general elections of 2022 coming up in August 9th. Less than 25 days to go for those elections, which are budgeted at 40.9 billion, as I've just kept saying. And it's among the highest in the world, coming just right after a few developed countries like the United States and India, which, of course, if you take a look at their population, it is expected that they're spending that much. We have a population of just slightly above 50 million and voters at 26 million. The US has 250 million voters whose expenditure is at 1 trillion. Kenya, 40.9 billion. I'm having this conversation with an interesting party. Mr. Silas is joining me here on set. Not new on KUTV Rise today. If you're someone who's been watching Throwback Thursday with Ojwang Mariam, definitely seeing him on the discourse there, taking a look at various issues. Mr. Silas Akiro is a lawyer and entrepreneur who's worked and been in this field, of course, taking a look at various issues in the country, and a lawyer at Gatama and Associates. We're going to have a look at that kidogo tu, lakini most importantly, what do you think is going to happen with this kind of budget that we're facing for this year's elections? Remember, there's also expenditure that is being done by political parties, by presidential candidates, senators, MCAs, which is all still governed by the IEBC. However, the most important part now is how will the incoming government turn around this 40.9 billion? Do we really need to spend that much? Mr. Silas.
Thank you so much. A very good morning to you, everyone watching KUTV today. As you've been told, my name is Silas Akiro. I work with the firm of Gatama and Associates. We are based at Parklands, opposite Biashara Hospital. Right. Now, reacting to your question this morning, indeed, it is a matter of concern, a matter of great questioning, because as you noted, Kenya it's a developing country, right, not a developed country. We rate Kenya under the second world countries. But then when you look at the kind of expenses that Kenya already brings into its kitchen are worrying. And the person to really get concerned is the taxpayer. Taxpayer is the one who is actually supposed to really get concerned about the campaign expenses. Right. And so 40.9 billion. 1,600 shillings for every single voter. 1,600 shillings for every voter whenever you get the polling station come out, you've spent 1,600 shillings. I know, looking at the current economic crisis, the expenses in terms of ferrying these materials, there could be delay, they would need for air transportation. Of course, they'll have to be transported by air, except for counties that are within the city. Except for polling stations that are within the city. So we'd like to figure in the transportation. We'd like to figure in the cost of this. Those are going to be the officials who are going to oversee this campaign or these elections. And so when you look at the expenditure vis-a-vis the people who are going to spend this money, you can put a bit of a question mark on the 40.9 billion Kenya shillings,
right,
in terms of spending this money. But what I can say is the corruption spree that has always been in this country, awarding tenders, unscrutinized tenders,
right,
and also trying to favor, those who are giving the opportunity to you to award those tenders. They would want a few coins back, and these are things that have been taking place in this country.
Right.
These are things that have been taking place in this country. They say we'll approve this kind of a budget for you, but spend this much. Give us this kickback.
Right.
And that has really affected the way in which some of these things have been drawn. But don't forget that IBC needs to also think about a possibility of a rerun,
which will be more expensive.
Of course.
Right.
Also think about the possibility of nullification. Kenya has set that precedence before.
Right.
And the need for a re-election, so a fresh election, 60 days after the nullification. So if this could get some surplus for the anticipated expenses, not that whenever we get that opportunity, then we have to redraw our budget again. And push it back to parliament. I don't know how we need 14 billion, we need 20 billion for this kind of election. If that is scattered for in the 40.9 billion, it would be better. But now this is exclusively for the GE, the general election, that's coming up in less than 30 days. Yes.
All right. So now we have a situation where, politics aside, we know that mistrust in Kenyan elections is not new. There's precedence for that since 1963. We've had every other election cycle there's usually an issue, and this time round the various parties have different views on how the electronic transmission of results should be, which is a very big issue of contention, which led to the nullification of previous elections. Of course, CJ saying that there was an issue in how the electronic transmission was done, mambo ya server kufunguliwa and all of that. Right now, there is a manual backup which will cost 6 billion, half of what Germany spends on their elections. And as you said, this is a developing country, and being classified as such, we have to take a look at how other countries are spending, which are around us. Kenya is spending twice per voter as much as Uganda spends, 3 times more than what Tanzania spends, at around the same number of voters. And do we really need to spend on some of these activities, including a manual backup? Will that ensure transparency, or are these also smoke screens? As you said, corruption, kickbacks, and all of that happening in the background.
Now, if you'd ask me, Kenya's technology is still underdeveloped. Without your anticipation, or unbeknown to you, you may realize there's a collapse in technology. I do not say this to support the manual backup, because once we have gone electronic, indeed we need to make sure that we bolster the electronic technology that we have employed. But because of the meddling into, meandering into the resources that are supposed to even bring network. Right now, if you maybe go to your rural home, I may not know where your rural home is.
Kisii County.
Kisii County.
Yes.
Very good. If you go to your rural home, deep down, Kenya has 4 networks. There's 4 or 3. We have Safaricom, Telecom, and Airtel.
Right.
You realize that there are certain places in Kisii County that this network cannot reach.
Yeah,
including Safaricom.
Yes.
So if we have not made sure that we have a strong network across all the corners of this country, then I will eagerly support the availability of a manual backup. But it needs to be chiseled out. What do I mean by chiseling out? If there are counties where the network is strong, you don't anticipate a fallout unless there is an underhand dealing like Nairobi. We don't need to have a manual backup for them. And you see, the IEBC database is so intelligent that it isolates people per polling station. So if we realize that all polling stations within Nairobi are electronically covered, then there is no need to
have a manual,
spend money
on a manual backup
for a manual backup in
specifically
Nairobi,
for that Nairobi.
For Nairobi.
Okay.
So if I get Homa Bay, a sub-county, a polling station in Homa Bay, that the network might fail, then it is obvious. I just print down the manual backup and have it to be used as a standby.
Okay.
Not the targeted, the main source of information for the polling station, but as a backup.
Okay.
Because if you look at the law really does not hinder manual backup. The law simply speaks of maintaining, sourcing this data, the electorate's data, electronically. So it means I have to input this data into an electronic gadget, but then I am permitted by law to download it at some point. So it is not exclusive on electronic. There can be 2.
All right.
Yes.
Now we have said, and I just want to make sure I correct that, Kenya doesn't spend twice as much as Uganda. It spends twice as much as Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda combined. 3 countries just for one election if you compare it across our neighbors. Now, for an incoming government, we've just spoken about the high cost of living, deficit in terms of the budget that is expected for the incoming government as well, and 40.9 billion without taking into consideration a possibility of a rerun or a runoff for that matter.